Thank you for visiting. For the rest of this video, I'm going to show you how I designed and built this Catio. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please let me know down below. Cedar deck balusters were the obvious lumber choice because of their 4-foot length and rot resistance. When finished with 100% pure tung oil, diluted with citrus solvent for the first coat, the result is a natural, non-toxic finish. This should add a few years of water resistance. It's not the most durable option, but I decided to prioritize keeping this project as chemical-free as possible. This is the wood after it has been sanded, but before it has been stained. Sanding and staining was, of course, the most time-consuming part of this project, but worth it. These smaller pieces with 45-degree angle cuts made with a miter box are used for corner braces and shelf brackets. You can see the color difference after applying one coat. The wood grain has been accentuated and the color is darker but still natural. And here, more clearly, is the difference in coated versus uncoated wood. I will go on to apply 2 additional coats of undiluted tung oil. A right angle clamp is an essential tool for assembling the 27 individual square frames that comprise the walls. And here is a roll of burlap I cut and stapled to some of the shelves to create a grippy surface. Normally, when the cats enter the Catio, they jump straight down onto this table, so I added burlap here as well. At this point, I finished applying the tung oil and put together all the frames. A couple of them I have screwed together, but most are still by themselves, leaning against the garage wall. I also coated some wood cutting boards with the tung oil while I was at it, since it's food safe. Most of the frames are either 2x2 feet or 2x4 feet, but the longer walls also have a 3x4 foot section in the middle. As a result, the overall dimensions of the Catio are about 7.5 by 6 feet. This 8-foot cedar plank I will later cut with a jigsaw and turn into shelves. And I will show you here the number 10 2.5-inch coated exterior starbit screws. I used 5 to 6 pounds of these screws for the entire structure, a lot of them, 2 at every frame corner. Because the frames come together quickly, a couple days later there are now 3 assembled walls, with the tallest 4th wall still in smaller pieces. The final steps with wall assembly are mounting each wall onto pressure-treated ground contact 2x4s, serving as the foundation, and then stapling 1/4-inch hardware cloth to the exterior side. This is the short end, 6 feet high, and the tall end, where the door is located, is 8 feet high. Plenty of height as cats prefer. Because of where the hinges are placed, the door only swings outwards and is held closed with a barrel bolt. Here are the side walls nearing completion. By building the 4 walls as independent sections able to be disassembled later, the Catio is portable should the need ever arise to move it. A modular design maximizes flexibility for future modifications. It took a couple days to scrape out and level the dirt prior to adding the walls. And here are photos shortly after adding the rafters, roof, and flooring at the beginning of fall 2020. I made the floor using unusually shaped garden pavers. Most of these were strewn about the property when we moved in, buried under inches of dirt. So we dug them out, I pressure washed and cobbled them together, then filled the cracks with sand. I regret not using some form of weed barrier underneath. However, my 1-year-old is fine with that. After some trial and error, I found that 3/8-inch round cable staples work best for fastening the hardware cloth. The wood I used for the walls are all 2x2s. The four corners of the structure are each 3 pieces thick. The middle piece is not part of any of the frames, rather it is an extra brace for, in this case, the front wall and the side wall to screw into, coming from each respective direction. It adds more stability for the rafters, which I will show in a moment, and more surface area to screw things into. This is the same corner, viewed from the inside. Moving up, it goes from 3 wide, and then at the 6-foot mark, going to the top, it's only 2 wide. If the middle support piece wasn't there, the rafter would then only be supported by one flimsy 2x2, which would not be safe. Here's the other end of the front wall. The hardware cloth goes all the way up to the plastic roof. This is to make sure no birds or bats can get inside. And at the lower end, to the left, you can see a piece that looks like it's supporting the rafter, but actually, it's only there to provide a surface for the hardware cloth to be stapled into. At the final corner, I made a mistake. That weird little wedge in the middle, I carefully sanded to a custom fit because I sawed too much off of the rafter. The catwalk into the house has gone through some changes. Currently, I'm using this nicely rounded 8-inch wide cedar board, the curve helping with rainwater runoff. I also decided to drill some holes as an additional mold mitigating measure. The cable ties here are actually doing a lot of work to make sure there aren't any gaps in the hardware cloth. This also keeps the dome around the catwalk secured in place. The vinyl roof is only held down by gravity. Rain intrusion is the main maintenance consideration. The board here, going from the shelf to the floor, should get utilized by the cats more often as they get older. This one almost has it figured out. I hope I have given you some catification inspiration. What's your next project? Leave me a comment and don't forget to hit that like button.